And when they drew nigh unto Jerusalem, and were come to Bethphage, unto the Mount of Olives, then sent Jesus 2 disciples, saying unto them, Go into the village over against you, and straightway ye shall find an ass tied, and a colt with her. Loose them, and bring them unto me. And if any man say aught unto you, ye shall say, The Lord hath need of them, and straightway he will send them. All this was done, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophet, saying, Tell ye the daughter of Zion, Behold, thy king cometh unto thee meek, and sitting upon an ass, and a coat, the foal of an ass. And the disciples went and did as Jesus commanded them, and brought the ass, and the coat, and put on them their clothes, and they set him thereon. And a very great multitude spread their garments in the way. Others cut down branches from the trees, and strawed them in the way. And the multitudes that went before, and that followed, cried, saying, Hosanna to the Son of David! Blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord! Hosanna in the highest! And when he was come into Jerusalem, all the city was moved, saying, Who is this? And the multitude said, This is Jesus, the prophet of Nazareth of Galilee. And Jesus went into the temple of God, and cast out all them that sold and bought in the temple, and overthrew the tables of the money changers, and the seats of them that sold doves, and said unto them, It is written, My house shall be called the house of prayer, but ye have made it a den of thieves. And the blind and the lame came to him in the temple, and he healed them. And when the chief priests and scribes saw the wonderful things that he did, and the children crying in the temple, and saying, Hosanna to the Son of David, they were sore displeased, and said unto him, Hearest thou what these say? And Jesus saith unto them, Yea, have ye never read, Out of the mouth of babes and sucklings thou hast perfected praise? And he left them, and went out of the city into Bethany, and he lodged there. Now in the morning as he returned into the city, he hungered. And when he saw a fig tree in the way, he came to it, and found nothing thereon, but leaves only, and said unto it, Let no fruit grow on thee henceforward for ever. And presently the fig tree withered away. And when the disciples saw it, they marveled, saying, How soon is the fig tree withered away? Jesus answered and said unto them, Verily I say unto you, if ye have faith, and doubt not, ye shall not only do this which is done to the fig tree, but also, if ye shall say unto this mountain, Be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, it shall be done. And all things, whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing, ye shall receive.
Well, hello and good evening, everyone. April 7th, 2017. I'm just so excited to be...
Hello, everyone. Jason and Ronnie here. What you were just listening to was an introduction that Ronnie, the event skeptic, you're so funny. So the visor here, this is mine that was given to me by my ex. She went to Michigan. It's a nice visor. I know it's got an M on it and can probably be construed somehow wrong.
Yeah, I don't care anymore. I'm sweating. This was the visor that was close by.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So we do our best to try to not to upset, offend any of our brothers or sisters.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be doing that again today. We've got a special message that Ronnie and I would like to put out to our brothers, our sisters, our family in the truth. And that, I'm just going to be in the chat set up here. But so today, I want to be talking sometimes directly to my brother, my parents, cousins, aunts, uncles, people like this. I have a message that I'd like to share with those people, my fleshly family. But the importance that I have behind this message that I would share with my own personal family, that I feel it's important for everybody to hear. And hopefully you could share some of your message that you would like your family to hear, and the brothers and sisters in the truth, people looking for the truth, share that with them. Because we sort of discovered this last Wednesday night that we've sort of run out of new information to share with y'all. It's we are late, really late in these last days before the Great Tribulation's going to begin. We know that from the things that we've been studying in the Revelation 12 prophecy, and a whole lot of other things that have been fulfilled over the course of this year. The scriptures have a timeline to events, that happens every year as far as the different festivals are concerned. But what we've seen is, retrospectively speaking, looking back, how these were always key marker days that lined up with these events. And of course, once again, 2017, the year 5777, the Hebrew calendar. We know that the Revelation 12 sign is going to be fulfilled in September on the 23rd. But then there's all these other things that we need to look at surrounding that. And that those things have to do with a rapture or a translation, of being removed from this world that you and I so clearly know is a simulation. And we've been spouting this off. I'm sorry, I can get the chat going.
You can keep going.
Well, why don't you, what's that?
Mute.
Oh, you're right. Thank you, Ronnie.
No worries. It'll just jump out and throw us off more.
Yeah. So, one of the things that we'd like to do today, hopefully, answer some questions from the live chat. That'd be fantastic. But even if nobody shows up for the live chat, this is a message that I would like to personally send to all my family members, everybody that I care about. So this right here is sort of like a video blog experience, but we get to do it together. Right? And that's fantastic, because I just want everybody to know that in all of my truth research, all my truth studies, there is nobody that I know of that was on it like you.
No, well, there was a bunch of us, but
not like you, because for one, you went into flat Earth, you did the research, and you came to the conclusion that Earth's flat, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So right there, that narrows you out of the population in this world. Right? If there's supposedly 7 billion of us here, how many people do you think know that Earth is flat right now?
Maybe 100. That's what the data points towards.
About 100.
Maybe less. 100 YouTube channels.
Do you think there's like 7 or 8 billion of us here, or what?
No.
No.
I think there might be under a billion, 900 million.
So we've got a very, very small group of people that know that the Earth is flat. So right away, you've been narrowed down from like 1 billion to 100 or so. And then you also, before me, came to the conclusion that the popular flat Earth model that's been promoted by all these popular flat Earth channels, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And what was it for you that broke the doors off of that model for you?
Equinox, really. The equinox, the angles of the rise and set of the sun and moon and stars. It shattered it.
Okay, so then amongst people that know the Earth is flat, how many people would you say are out there that know that the popular flat Earth model that's being promoted is impossible?
Maybe 10 people. And 2 of the 10 promote that it's, well, I guess there's 3, 4, 5 people. That's me, you, QNF, Enslaved by Media, and
Flat Earth Photography?
Flat Earth Photography. Those are the people that know that it doesn't work and that are actively talking about it.
And actually publicly say
that it's not working.
It's not working.
They get it.
Making video content about it.
Well, and then so after that, then you'll have maybe 5 channels that have 50 channels on each that publicly promote the false model. And I'd assume that maybe up towards 1,000 flat Earth channels are run by these five channels. Your Jeranism, your David Weiss, your Mark Sargent, your ODD, and your Will, Truth is Stranger Than Fiction. Those 5 channels right there probably have 50 each that are all flat Earth commenters. They're all the same people.
Right.
And then their friends and family, like Cammy and Missa, and then you got ODD and his crew, and then they have a crew of trolls, and Tim Osman, and then your other trolls. So really, if you narrow it down, there really is, it doesn't make sense that there's only five people that understand the Earth is flat and the model we were given was false.
Yeah, so you're very special, okay? In a fantastic way. Now, something else that I would like to say about Ronnie is that I have never come across a person that knows the scriptures as much and as well as he does, not just the 66 canon, but all of the apocryphal or extra canonical scriptures that got removed at the Council of Nicaea. And for most people, they know that was a bad event. That council, was set up by the Vatican, and they chopped a bunch of books out, and they left us with 66. Once again, a number that's highly occulted, used all the time like that. So you know the regular canon, the extra canonical, and the studies that we've done show clearly that not only are we in a simulation, but the creator of this world is the God of the Bible and those extra canonical texts. And so I highly recommend to all my friends and family, if you want to understand how the scriptures all fit together in a greater context, not just one individualized section, but the whole thing, the context, the big enchilada, the full picture, the material on Ronnie's channel is the best that you will find out there on the internet.
Well, I at least point the way to the truths that I find, and I share them, and I try to use the best artistic, emotional expressions that I could possibly derive. I could use a little bit more proofs, but I met you, and you came in with a bunch of phenomenal, unbreakable flat Earth proofs. But as for the scriptures, I do have a detailed run through, filtered from the beginning of my channel to today. And I do recommend that people seek is it contagious? Is it a snowballing effect? I don't have an answer for it. All I know is that I hungered for the scriptures. Like everything that I learned was more fulfilling, and I didn't quite have that full feeling ever, and I do have it now, knowing that I'm in a simulation and I'm not to worship any of it, none of it, not the body or the world that's around me. And that was what gave me that clarity and comfort. They say on the flat earth that you never sleep better. I've never slept better knowing that the earth is flat. Well, it's like, I'll never die knowing that I'm in Yahweh Shai's simulation. So
yeah, if you live and play by the rules laid down by the Creator, it says right in the scriptures the type of reward that we're supposed to be expecting, and it's phenomenal. It's crazy. I mean, this world as it is right now, if you were just to get rid of the wicked governments and the unjustness, that type of stuff, just think about this world, how amazing it is. But then we know from the scriptures that it's going to be made better than this. And there's things like no more pain anymore. So in the simulation right now, when you whack your finger with a hammer, there's pain. We know that there's not going to be any pain anymore. So when we're translated, the type of body that we're going to have is obviously going to be altered in some sort of way for us to not have that pain anymore, to not grow old. All the stuff that we know from the scriptures are going to happen. So what I really wanted to do today, Ronnie, is have this message that I can give to my friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
This is the video that I want to send them ASAP. I want them to listen to this, and if they would just listen to this, then they can decide whether or not they need to do more research or not, if they're just going to continue with their lives the way they have been, or if this is going to motivate them to dig in and have that passion, the seeking. I'll tell all my friends and family that for many years now, ever since my first divorce, my first wife, the seeking has grown from like an everyday event being every day a few hours to every day as much of the possible day as I possibly can. And that's the way it's been up until just real recently, where all of a sudden, like this last Wednesday night, I could sort of tell, all right, this right now, it's review time. It's get this message to the friends and family. This is sort of last ditch attempt here. This message for the friends and family applies to everyone. So we are doing this publicly now. And I just want to say to the wife that I just divorced, I loved you. The truth is more important to me than that love, though. And so because you did not want to receive anything that I had to say regarding this truth, I had to divorce you. My parents, I tried to share flat earth with you. All right. You heard enough of me saying stuff to know that I'm serious about this, and you would not look at the evidence. Under no way, shape, or form could you be coerced into looking at the evidence. And really, flat earth is just one little truth. It's not the whole big truth. All right. So I mean, to reject that, I can't have a superficial relationship anymore. It doesn't work for me.
Mm-hmm.
Unless if a person is interested in the truth, wants to talk about it and do the research, I'm willing to be corrected. I want to sit down and do the study together. Like, this is what we do, Ronnie and I together. We don't, neither one of us just gets to run amok and say, this is the way it is, because right away the other one goes, really?
It's not right.
So we're constantly correcting each other, and we want the third party, the fourth party, the fifth party, the 144,000th party. Right? That's what we learned from the scriptures, that these would be rulers, kings, and priests in the new world. We want that input, the correction. There's a number of things that our studies have brought us to that we feel are essential for your immediate well-being in this world, like your life.
Well, beyond this world.
Yeah.
You're speaking of everlasting life. So just to add to what you were speaking on there is, so we're in this, we're born with nothing, come into this world, we have nothing, we take nothing with us when we leave. But the scriptures do emphatically state, redundantly, that you are to seek the reason you are here. That is the purpose of life, is to understand why you are alive. And if you don't come to the correct conclusion, you will not live. And it's not a fear tactic, it's the truth.
The truth.
The truth. And I've traveled 3,000 miles. I walked away from everything. Like, I say hi to my daughter. I love you. She is living her life. Teenager now.
Yeah.
You know, my father, my cousin, my mom, all of my family, my aunt, my uncle. I have a very warm, loving family. And I'd have to say I've been grilling them about the simulation realization and the flat earth, and the same responses that you received, I received. And I know it's a huge part to play with the conditioning that we undergo right from birth. So they hang the nativity set of the galaxy over our heads as infants. So we're constantly being programmed, giving up everything you have, willing to take any risk at any cost to seek the truth. And that is why me and you have had such a, you know, many people ask me, are you sure you want to fly somewhere? I had no idea I was this far south. I should have known that by looking at the maps all the time, but this is quite a distance away from where I was raised. And I have to tell you, it's been liberating being here and then seeing the river and the animals and the people. People in Texas, in Austin, are some of the warmest, loving, caring people. And man, can they cook food. So again, I give up anything for the truth. Excuse me. I have my crutches in this reality. I have my sins. I'm far from perfect, but since I've met you, November 16th, 2016, I have learned so much. We have gone through the book of life. We have gone through the entire book. So,
well, and here's the thing, everybody. We've made some big, bold statements that not a soul can debunk with evidence. Nobody's done it. Nobody's even tried. Like, and we went straight up against the popular flat earth channels. And we've got a map. We've got a model.
The stars work.
Yeah.
The flight paths work. You know.
So that is what we've been up to. So to my parents, you can't reject what the scriptures have to say about the shape of this earth. All right? It is flat. It is motionless. We're not spinning in space. The people that you're watching on television, the people that you have in your church that are continuing to say Earth's a spinning ball, they're liars or deceived. Okay, so none of that's true. We can show you hard evidence. We'll go through some of the videos that we have on our channel, and we'll point out the hard evidence that you can look to. This is the research that we've done that we want to, this is the cliff notes. This is how to come up to speed real quickly because the time's really short. We wish that you had been paying attention all along. But here is our, probably going to be one of our last attempts. There might be a couple more videos coming out, but this one we're trying, you know, they always say, when's the best day to plant a tree? 30 days ago, 30 years ago, when's the next best time? Today. Now. So this is the message that got to get it out to you. You got to hear this. My brother, we got to talk yesterday, and you know, our communication had sort of died down because you didn't want to hear anything about conspiracies and that. You'd prefer to have just the normal everyday conversation that would talk about sports or something like that. This has my full attention. This research, this is all I think about all the time. And if somebody's not going to sharpen me like a piece of metal, you know, like help me come to an accurate truth better, and they want to talk about something else that doesn't have to do with truth research, to me that's a distraction, and I don't have time for it right now. I was so inspired by the questions that you had, the receptiveness. It seems to me that you understand pretty well that Earth's probably flat, even though you may have not gone through all the research to know how to prove it to somebody else. These are all things that I've done on my channel, and I can point you to. We're going to go through some of the videos. I'm going to point out the ones I had thought about, you know, sending you a text last night that had this content, but then I realized that I didn't want the message to go to just you. I wanted it to go to my ex, to mom and dad, to aunts and uncles, to the cousins. I wanted to go to my children. I wanted to go to my first wife. I wanted to go to all of her family. That list of people right there are the people that I consider to be my fleshly family. In no way do I put this group of people ahead of anybody else in the world that's interested in the truth. Anybody that's interested in the truth, I consider to be my family. So what I want for all of you is for you to understand what the truth is. I don't want to tell you what the truth is like in a dogmatic way. This is the truth and you're just supposed to accept it. What I want to do is point you to different things to look at and study, come to your own conclusions, see whether or not the conclusion that you come to is the same conclusion that I came to. And if we differ in any way, then let's study it. Let's look at it together. But I can assure you 100% that with the amount of exposure that I've had on YouTube, saying these things over and over and over, that if somebody had some evidence that the things that I'm saying are not true, it would just be plastered with that. YouTube, the internet, my name's all over this. I'm all in on it. So These things have checked out. They are true. Earth is flat. We've been lied to by all the governments, by all the educational systems. Okay? All of that is part of Satan's system. Now, when you learn about flat Earth, chances are you're going to see a model that has the sun and moon doing circles over what's called an AE map, the azimuthal equidistant map. The most popular out of all those is the Gleason's map. This entire model is a lie. It is not reality whatsoever. It is a Freemasonic hoax. Deception. Samuel Rowbotham is a Freemason that created a false model of the flat Earth. And they sell it with perception being the end-all, be-all, just like gravity is in the globe system. The model doesn't work. Then the thing is once you realize that model doesn't work and you continue looking for what this world is, how is it a flat Earth? You know, how come we don't fall off the edge? All the obvious first questions, right? How does this world work if it's flat? Well, I had come to the conclusion that I was in a simulation based on non-dualistic studies that I had done. So when I went through the divorce with my first wife and my two kids, they went back to Wisconsin. They were out of my life. What I put that's cool. What I put myself to was this really intense research and study, and what I looked into was enlightenment. And during that path, I got off of enlightenment, but got really interested in non-dualism, which I discovered that it's actually true. Mm-hmm. Non-duality is a truth. But see, that it gets all mixed up in this New Age Eastern religion stuff that once again drives you off the beaten path. But I did realize, I did come to the understanding that I was in a simulation through reaching non-duality. And this was a very intense process. I cut off all of my relationships with all the friends. I didn't seek out friends. What I was looking for, I moved out into the country and did yard work and meditated and contemplated and did yogas and through all that reached the non-duality, realized that we were in a simulation. Mm-hmm. And then the flat Earth eventually came along. I realized within flat Earth that there would be this way to wake people up to the simulation. I was going to use flat Earth, like, hey, Earth's flat, and then I expected everybody to go, whoa, what's this guy talking about? Like, he just told me Earth's flat and it's flat. It really is. And then I could go, oh, and by the way, it's a simulation too. So that never happened. Nobody ever wanted to look into the fact that Earth's flat. They're always like, well, what difference does it matter? I have to wake up and go to work and pay taxes. What difference does it make if it's a ball or if it's flat? Okay. Mm-hmm. The big difference that it makes is a realization came to me. The look up video, hashtag look up. When you know that Earth is flat and you look up, you now have absolute proof that you are in a simulation. If you don't understand that, ask me now, very quickly, or go back and watch all the videos.
It's all there.
But Ronnie and I we've got plans coming up real soon. We got some plans coming up. So I'm gonna do some screen sharing. I'm gonna show you the type of work, research material that we've been doing. Ronnie's got a head start on me.
Oh, come on, we're even.
So let's do a little screen share here. And so you wanna go through your channel a little bit, Ronnie? Coming up real soon. Oops, I gotta there we go.
We're live. We're out live. So this message is gonna last forever, right?
Yeah, and this. Here we go. So we'll work our way back up to this. But this is Ronnie's channel, everybody. And so one thing, if the truth is being researched on YouTube, this is where the battleground is. It's not in your local newspaper. It's not in your local church. It's not on Facebook is a way of spreading it, but the content creators make videos and they put them on YouTube, and then everything else is like a way to share it. So YouTube is the battleground. When you're reading the scriptures and you know that it's a simulation and you hear about these different battles taking place, it's on YouTube.
That's scriptural.
Yeah. And so
not,
you take
not the word YouTube.
Yeah. But you take a look at this, and his channel has none of the satanic vibes that if you look at all the popular flat earth channels, the majority of them are just littered with satanic type imagery, numerology, the whole 9 yards. So let's take a look back here. And look at all these videos, everybody. If you only had an idea of the amount of work that goes into producing a video that has got all new groundbreaking research and information, full context, bringing the context together of multiple scriptures, and then putting it together in a video and having it be a presentation that people enjoy watching and get the information out of. It's, if only people knew, maybe they would appreciate it. So we're going back to about 2 years ago. Check this out, everybody. Can you see this? I'm moving my cursor on it. Clouds behind the sun. Could you tell us about this video, please, brother?
Well, this was, quite early in the flat earth research, and I was searching for the truth, and a video, I can't remember if it was QNV or another Christian. It was definitely a Christian YouTube channel, or it could have been me. I could have had the inspiration just through the Spirit. I can't, but I knew that I had seen clouds behind the moon with the naked eye observations. And so when I viewed some photographs that allegedly supposed that there were clouds in front of and behind the moon, the sun, I made the video real quick. I threw in, as much as I could. And I had another YouTube channel, a guy down in Corpus Christi, which actually is more south than here, which is it's insane. He went through with the top Photoshop Adobe program, and he did an hour video, basically trying to debunk the image and the images in the video that I presented, the same way that you would debunk the NASA Earth from the moon photographs. You just crank up and down the gamma ray, the contrast, sharpness, and basically his video was truth, that those were undoctored photographs and film of clouds in front of and behind the sun and the moon. For me, the implication wasn't so great until 6 months later, a year, maybe a year and a half later. Because at first I thought, oh, well, this just backs up that they're 3,000 miles away. And then after I had met you and we started talking about, well, how high do you think the clouds are, you said to me. And I was like, So I went and did some research. They're pretty close, like 3 to 4 miles. They're just right there. Yeah. So that video, which got 72,000 views, really was the beginning of my AE map debunking. And you can see as we go through my channel, you keep coming through here, I start to go towards an electric flat Earth. And
yeah, because the popular channels were not telling us a truth, that a model that works. So you start breaking it down without any help from anybody else. You're just breaking it down through your truth research.
Yeah, actually, I got I got dropped. I had one friend on YouTube, Matrix Decode,
yeah,
who constantly said, you know, this isn't a good avenue. You shouldn't really be, you know, going in opposition against the flat Earth channels.
Right.
And you know, I respected him very much because he was the one who originally suggested to me that the Earth was flat. But I knew in my heart the only thing that mattered was the truth. So I kept going. And I kept realizing more and more problems with the actual AE map. And I started realizing that it was a psyop that, you know, could be as worse, if not worse, than the globe itself, right?
Yeah, there's actually a lot of things within the popular AE model that if you just look at it, you know, when you look at it, you understand that it's wrong, but it's like, ooh, really wrong in the AE model, where in the globe model, it's actually
Closer.
As long as you believe in gravity, something that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, there's a few things. You have to, you know, skip the fact that there is a fixed celestial equator on a ball, when we're taught that wherever you are, you're on top of the ball. Unfortunately, that would make the equator at a 90-degree angle from your position anywhere on the ball. And this doesn't happen in reality. This is clear proof that you're in a simulation and that this flat Earth circling sun and map model does not work. So you can see I transitioned, and then this is where I thought the Mercator, I thought this map was the closest, even though I knew that at the north and the south it stretches to infinity. I knew that, you know, it's not a secret, but it still worked for the rise and set twice a year along an equator, not taking into account the magnetics. So just the actual sheer sextant observations, that map does appear to work twice a year. So I thought I had found the truth. So I continued on. And, you know, throughout this, the only people that would talk to me in the Flat Earth was Lori Frary and Lawrence Wright from the Flat Earth Conspiracy Channel. And that was obviously still a bad decision. So I still went and spoke my truth as best I could, continuing to find now this here, now that we're 11 months ago from now, this is where I completely figured out all of the flaws, not all of, but very many of the flaws.
You were sure at that point that that model did not work.
It was destroyed. The sheer magnitude of actual truth that I had stumbled upon when actually looking at the sky, the stars, the heavenly luminaries. Mm-hmm. This was the realization that, I guess in hindsight, that was when I had my simulation realization moment, but I hadn't cognitively understood the actual importance of this, because it does not work on any map model.
And then, and for all the friends, family, brothers and sisters, this is, you see, like down here, there was the, where's your no trees? There it is. So there was this video that came out, no trees on flat Earth, and 110,000 views on a video like this. Now, it's an interesting study, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, the funny thing about that video, of all the videos for YouTube to promote of mine, I got to tell YouTube, you're horrible. You know, we're gonna pay for every mistake and everything we chose, and YouTube shouldn't have put that video right there. We do deal with some scriptures, and we go over the interesting things about trees that were probably cut down.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, of all my videos, like not the most important. I would change that for 100 other videos.
And then when you come to understanding that the popular flat Earth model doesn't work, and you start talking about that, here's a video from 11 months ago that just gets 695 views.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, you know, censorship at its finest. Just wanted to point that out to everybody. These numbers, when they're squashed like this, that's a good sign that there's massive amount of truth in the video.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
Well, see, we've figured out basically through, you know, mental algorithms and studying of the YouTube data that the more truth you have, see, they won't shut you down because that, you know, validates your words. But what they will do is they'll just shadow block you and give you fake views. And who knows, maybe even fake comments. If anyone out there, comment below so we know that you're real when you hear this message. But so they block you. So if you come out with truth, and you know, that had Jeranism. Jeranism's tag was always quite popular. He boosted his channels, you know, right from the jump. So anything would get, and there's no other word in the history of words named Jeranism.
So then keep taking us through your timeline here, your videos, pointing out to us like the realizations that were taking place as this progresses here.
So yeah, as you can see, as I move forward here, this is where I've started to actually speak out. This one was against Stinky Cash. I started to publicly call out Jeranism, Stinky Cash, David Weiss from Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, even though I had already called David out back here, you know, before that. So I kept moving forward. I had this horrible setup debate with one of the Flat Earth leaders, and I felt that he was destroyed. It was an absolute pathetic excuse for a truth seeker to try, and this is the people that we want you to be aware of. When we're gone, when you see people like Jaron, you call them out. You do not let them walk freely. You call a deceiver a deceiver. You don't let them just walk by you, because they will pay for every lie they tell. And you, as a watchman that understand this message, have a duty. Anyone who is, so there'll be 7 years till the next eclipse. And if you're left here, you have an opportunity to glorify the Creator. Do not let liars, deceivers, and Satanists walk the earth free. They should be called what they are. So continuing forward, this is where the simulation realization proof came in. Here's definitive proof we are not on a ball. Flat Earth maps are wrong, and we are in a simulation. So when I saw this video,
whose video is that?
That's from the one they call Awake Souls, Jason Laufenberg. No. So basically, this map was one of the best. See, if you listen to all these videos prior, begging for somebody to come out and help model and express the things that we were seeing. And you were the only one, even though I thought you were somebody else, you had done that and did that really well. Your videos were phenomenal and truthful, all truthful.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not my best video, but it's got my most amount of views, once again, because there was some mistakes in it. But this was sort of like my first jump into doing a full video and putting it, you know, together and out. And
well, and what you did here in the strategic war that we're in. So remember, YouTube is the powers of the air. So the broadcasting that we're doing here is the spiritual war in high places and in low. So in this video here, you had asked everyone, please upload this video, download this video, and debunk me and figure out if this is truth. So I had to post it on my channel because of that. So you were actually fighting with great tactics right out of the gate. So after that video, I had my limitless, basically the simulation retrospectively realization through you, and I exploded. And then after that, I did a couple more hangouts with Mike Hamnick, who is clearly, deceiving people until he comes out with the truth. I'm not gonna.
Well, I mean,
should I be calling out names?
No, that's fine. It's fine. The big way to all of our friends, family, truth seekers, any channel that is promoting that you're on a spinning ball, any channel that's promoting the popular flat earth model, all of those people can be dismissed as liars, deceivers, or deceived. Okay? We're not on a ball. Popular flat earth model does not work. I'd like to do a quick shout out to Flat Earth Photography, ROTR, Blue Blood, Christopher, and Sean. Welcome. Thanks for showing up. And David, there you are.
And Emma.
Emma, too. Thanks for showing up, everyone.
And we are accepting questions here. I'll just finish. So basically, yeah, there was that. Do you want me to just run through this really quick?
Keep going. Keep going.
So after that, this is when I met you and we started conversing. So then you destroyed everybody with the stereographic oblique Mercator projection that is, oblate.
But let's just point out that you are the one that sent the map to me. Like I didn't find.
Well, yeah, we were both learning projections. We were both looking for something that would work on a two-dimensional plane and a sphere, and
where it wraps onto a three-dimensional sphere, but is actually a two-dimensional map. We knew that was the criteria that we needed to look for and find.
Because the way they've been fooling us, you can't disregard observations. And so, yeah, you had asked me for a stereographic projection. This it happened so prophetically because bam, bam, you had it. I urged you into Blender, and you came out with that, and boom, let out the EMP. This show was pulled. It was dropped right away from Laurie Ferreri's channel. They blocked it and then went on attack against me. But you dealt with that again prior to you had it all, you said, take the draw. They didn't want to take the draw. So that happened there. And then, so 6 months ago, I had the sign of the Son of Man. So I know you can't quite see, but there is rainbows.
I can see it.
Okay, so these would be Calcudras or heavenly spirits that accompany the sun. And so we were talking about the sign of the Son of the Man. And very, very biblical. These were some huge Christian moments for me. And then the simulation proofs. And then we continued to nail prophetic scriptural events with modern day truth.
So let's put a pause on your channel right there. I'm going to bring my channel up to that place. And then we'll maybe go through the timeline. All right, together, because that sort of walks out from this video. We'll walk this to the end together. So
sweet.
I'm just gonna show everybody. Here is my channel, friends and family. And I am going to be sending you I am going to be sending this video to all of you. And I hope you watch it. So my channel is Awake Souls. I've got 250,000 views. I've got 3,635 subscribers right now. I'm going to take you back. I had some videos up here that are older than the oldest one that you see on here. They were pretty new agey, and some of them were on the flaws that we have in math. And I made some mistakes in the math videos, but you'll see as we go along here, I was right about some of it too. So my very first video on my channel is the Flat Earth Sunrise compilation in St. Martin, shot with a Nikon P900. First day after I bought the camera there, first day I get this footage that shows what it actually looks like when the sun rises over water and sets over water. I also noticed that there were clouds behind the sun and birds behind the sun. Now, something in me, through the studies that I've done, I don't reject seeing something like that just because it doesn't make sense to me. I first go with the observation and be like, well, what do I see there? And then if I don't have a way of explaining it, just hang a question mark there, and hopefully it gets filled in later. So I said there are clouds and birds behind the sun. Put the video out, and you'll see that there's a lot more people that have been recording with the P900. They catch it all the time as well. So here's some video compilations there. Flat Earth spirituality reboot. So like I've said many times, I got caught up in the New Age Eastern religion studies, and the Flat Earth straightened me out because the Bible has been true all along. Okay, it said that fixed, immovable, this solid rock foundation, that it says it's so many different places. Now, everybody's going to want to take you to the Isaiah scripture where it says circle of the earth. We can show you that that is a bad translation. It's circuit of the earth. That's like the one place where you see circle, otherwise it's circuit. And we can show you in our model what the circuit refers to. So I rejected all that stuff and rebooted back 100% now strong Christian. Okay, the Flat Earth River Proof, where I'm living here in Texas. I live on a river. I asked for proof that Earth's flat, and it came in the form of a deluge. We had a massive flood, and the river was up 30 feet and way into the yard, and I was wondering whether or not the house was going to be inundated. And all of a sudden I came to the realization that I'm 400 feet above sea level at my house here on the river. And I had been looking into flat earth already, and I did the calculations. How much curvature should there be from the distance to my house to the coast where I know that the water has to get to? So 13,660 feet of curvature should be present, where if I was standing out at the coast where the water I know runs to, you can see it flow into that water. If I'm standing there looking back at my house is supposed to be 13,600. Well, if you subtract out the 400 feet for the elevation, it'd be 13,200 some feet, okay, below my feet out of the coast. So I'm like, all right, Earth is flat. That's where I went 100% right there with well, I was flat Earth before that, but that was, as far as proof video, pretty good proof. That's the one that I want to share with you. So I've done all this research. The river proof, you can do it with any river. Just follow the steps that I did in that video, and you can prove it to yourself simply, if you're honest with yourself. Then I get into the definitive proof series. So the first one of that, I started studying the equinoxes and how they do not work on the popular flat earth model. And once you know that that model doesn't work, I already knew it was a simulation. So I was able to sort of just like jump people to that a little bit. And I've got more in the series. I do modeling in SketchUp here, doing my best to show people the globe Earth model, and the flaws in it, and the flat Earth model, the flaws in it. So this video right here, making connections to and within simulation reality, part 1, laying the foundation. Out of all my videos, I know that this one needs to be corrected, but it's interesting to just show you where my understanding was. So I have a dome over like a standard Mercator where the north and south are stretched out to infinity. Like Ronnie, I knew that this map worked better than the other ones, even though the north and south was stretched out like this. And we had all been indoctrinated in the popular flat earth community into this whole dome idea. So you can see how my understanding has grown along the way. Now these footages, this is P900 footage, more clouds behind the sun. Please understand that having clouds behind the sun is a major problem. You know, the globalists say that it's 93 million miles away, and yet you can zoom in with a high-powered camera and you can clearly see that there are clouds behind it in the right settings. Sunrise, sunset, when it goes through the clouds. Watch this footage on here. Planets do not exist. Amazing Venus footage. This is P900 footage. The stuff that you see as far as the planets that we've been taught about in school, they don't look like the images that you've been shown. It's all lies. Look through a camera and see what it looks like for real. That's what I did. I noticed that Venus turns on like a light bulb. It doesn't just gradually get brighter and brighter. Here I get into breaking down the flaws and the angles of the sunrise and sunset in the popular flat earth model. Here, making connections in the simulation reality, like what we're taught as far as being atoms. That whole 99.9% empty space, atoms, that all goes back to atomism in ancient Greece. All right. This is just, it's make-believe, the whole atoms thing. All right. So what's more ridiculous, that we're in a simulation or that we're made out of atoms? When filming stuff, I've seen stuff fly through the sun. It's ridiculous. I've shown how we can calculate the true size and distance and speed of the sun. I've showed how we can model the path of the moon and show how the popular flat earth model doesn't work because of these angles. This cloud video, or the rainbow here, helps people to understand the rendering distance. Right? You can't get to the rainbow, right?
Well, that's the that would be the excuse me, the, what would I call that? The awake souls effect. So we have other deceivers that try to coin terms, but this is a proof that you clearly led the way with. So the distance that the rainbow is from the observer, you know the story, you can never get to the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, basically shows the rendering distance excuse me wow, the distance of reality. So the closer you move to the rainbow, the further away it moves, because everything that's light in the simulation, in these avatar bodies, has a set finite attribute, and you pointed it out.
A rendering distance, like a radius to the observer. And then we've learned from scriptures that what we would call like the 9 heavens are like these 9 spheres as far as the distances that things are rendered to us at. So
that was a great proof.
Yeah, the bi-monthly equinox debunks the popular flat Earth. Along the way, I shared videos from other people. This is from QNV. He pointed out how, you know, he got the ball started with war's a hoax. You know, I took it a little bit further too. You took it further too.
Pearl Harbor is a major family topic because, you know, people generally have an attachment to the moon landing and Pearl Harbor, and if you look at the evidence of both, you're going to be blown away at how fake and how much of a pathetic illusion that they did to humanity. And QNV pointed it out. You jumped right on it to promote it like a truth seeker that you are. Everybody needs to watch that video.
Mm-hmm. So then I get into sharing the map. I did that on GLOBEBUSTERZ, right? Well, I started to, and then really showed it on FEC. Of course, you know, they wanted to take the video down right away. Then chemtrails are demonic came out. And so for any friends and family that haven't heard about chemtrails yet, it's the stuff that we see out in the sky that it gets laid down by planes, and everybody wants you to believe that it's some sort of contrail from the plane
to poison you.
And they're spraying aerosols, poison, stuff like that. Watch the video. It is absolutely clear and obvious that chemtrails are actually demonic. Prayer is the cure to these things. Prayer is the cure. It works.
Just lastly on that point before you move on, that video there, chemtrails are demonic, 7 months ago, broke a witch spell on me. And basically I have seen real clouds in real skies. I've stood in the gaps. I've followed the logic and the approach that you've laid down, Jason. That video there for me ended chemtrails. It destroyed it. Everyone needs to watch that video too.
And then right after that, what is the true name of the Creator and the Christ? Okay. This, my personal family, and all brothers and sisters in the truth out there, this is my number one most important video that I would want any of you to watch, because it's essential to our salvation. And so it goes into the study how, I was raised Jehovah's Witness, and they called the Creator Jehovah and Jesus Jesus. In both cases, the name starts with a J. Now, if any of you don't know this already, the letter J did not exist until the mid-1500s. It did not come into usage until the mid-1600s. It wasn't even used in the King James 1611. Okay, that's how new letter J is. So if there is a single one of you that thinks that there is a possibility that the name is Jehovah or Jesus, I'm like, you got to shake the cobwebs out of your head. It's not possible. Okay, I did a study on this. I ran it through Ronnie here before putting this video out. We were in agreement on this video, the whole thing. And there is some study material from a channel in there that we do not recommend this channel as far as all their content's concerned. But the study that's he did on this subject,
the Paleo-Hebrew Sanskrit language, just the rudimentary language,
is spot on.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah. And
that's it.
Right. Yeah, because he's one of those
Black Hebrew movements.
Black Hebrew movement.
So, and just a short preface, we believe that the true color of the creator is light. It's not a skin tone color. It's not a racial thing. It's light.
Mhm.
So
that video is ultra important. The creator's name is Yahweh. All right. When he manifests in this world, right? We are in a simulation. When he manifests in this world, the Jesus that you think of, his real name is Yahweh Shai. Okay, that's all laid down in the video, and then Ronnie's done some touch-up work on it, where he's made it better. Thank you, brother.
just added scriptures.
I talk about how irrational numbers are logic errors, and we get into the Beyond Flat Earth, which is this is Ronnie and I doing hangouts together live.
Every Wednesday,
Every Wednesday,
8 p.m. Central.
and look at the topics that are covered here, and we're going to get into a scriptural timeline, and you're going to see that Beyond Flat Earth was nailing and fulfilling prophetic timeline events regularly, like as needed. We get up to, I started a personal vlog channel. All right, this is my personal message for the friends, family, you know, my brother, my parents, my kids, the ex-wives, their families. All right. This is a personal message that I know all of you can relate to, and know that it's heartfelt truth. I'm trying to give you inside scoop on what I've been up to, how this research has led me to the conclusions that I'm at. This is for you. This is for truth seekers. You know, we got onto a tangent where we showed how we could make super ridiculously abundant energy super easy. We could get ourselves off the grid if we were going to be around in this world for a long time.
Yeah, from the twigs and the brush that falleth on your lawn. So,
and then simulation nation realization. This video right here, this is part of the lookup. All right. This is, once you know the earth is flat, the evidence is here. The way to figure out that you are in a simulation is in these videos. These are must watches. I reposted this. This was Ronnie and my first hangout, because it's amazing to see what we've done from our first hangout together to right now. It's mind-boggling. Now, more incredible clouds behind the sun. More and more hangouts. The working map. We keep exposing the people within the popular flat earth community that are shilling and trolling for an unworkable model. Recently, part of the simulation realization, when you're looking up, look at the clouds. Watch this video. See if you see a problem. All right.
excellent video.
So that brings me up to speed. If you want to go back and bring us in the Beyond Flat Earth through the Revelation, the 2017, bring ourselves into the current events right now, show people why this is ultra important right now. Let's talk about timing of things, and I'm gonna let Ronnie cover for a little bit while I get a drink.
Yeah, great job as always. So when we want to look at peace, thank you, Sean. And so even if they delete our channels, we're going to have this video uploaded in many places, so at least you can then go after these titles and investigate these truths yourself. So we're going to have a look here at a timeline made by informed Christians. His name is Daniel. Amazing work, brother. I would really love it if Daniel could understand that we live on a flat, fixed Earth, and that it is a Yahushai simulation. So basically, you can see here. So the sign of the Son of Man, September 23rd, Jupiter being birthed from the constellation Virgo. This is one of the ending fulfillments, which happens on a Feast of Trumpets. In the book of Revelation, calls them the trumps, the end times. And we've had 4 prophetic blood moons. We've had the wise man's path match. You know, I don't know the distinct year. They've really done a job on messing around the timeline. But you can see here, Jason and I, so we met on the conception date. We started working together around November 16th of 2016. And then, so we can go here to, where's the sign of so the first big sign that we saw was the Alpha and Omega being split by Jupiter at its opposition of Regulus right here. So when we zoom in here, show people Jupiter at opposition. I don't know why. So he's got the Chaldean. So this was the Chaldean Hebrew study of the sky. Mm-hmm. So basically right here, was it April 7th? April 7th was when Jupiter was at opposition. And if you go over to our videos, that's April 12th. I don't know if I have it up yet. I'll just go to it this way. Okay. This was April 12th.
You can go back and show what was on the 7th.
Yeah, we have a little lag. So where was that? That video was a while down. Oh, is this your channel? No. Yeah, this is.
Oh, it's switched. It does that all the time.
That's okay. We can.
You can switch it.
So videos, and I'm not going to address copyright strikes or any games that anyone might play on YouTube. I'm done with that stuff. So I'll quickly scroll down to that video. So as you can see here, I also have started a vlog channel thanks to Jason's lead. Great way to share truth and moments. I just hadn't had enough time.
Yeah, we'll probably do a few more, but you're going to see everybody that looks like the time's really short. I don't know how many more we're going to be doing.
Here we go. So what was that one we were just at?
Oh, you sort of need to look at it from your video manager where it shows the date.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, I gave up everything. So my system that I was using is gone.
Yeah, he's working on a Mac right now. And have you ever worked on Macs before?
Very, very minimal. But I do love Apple has great programming. So I can't deny that. It's just a little tricky because mine would have been like bam, bam.
Yeah.
But it's okay because my testimony is towards witnessing to the truth at any cost. So.
Well, and this is a little bit different of a setup, everyone. We are standing outdoors.
Which I love. We stand for the truth, right?
Mm-hmm. We do.
Forever. And we don't mind being wrong. I can be corrected. I want to be corrected. Please correct me.
It'd be wonderful.
Okay, we're almost there now. May, April.
So many videos.
Here we go. Yeah, we were putting out quite a bit during the Passover, first Passover, second Passover, Ascension Day, the triumphal entry. Here we go right here. April 7th, right? Everybody see this is, I'm not going to play it, but so we released this map. As you can see here, Yahushai's map of Earth, Omega. Jason and Ronnie and Clifford Cox helped. I know the CC, whatever. You know, I am not subject to Masonic witchcraft, so symbols and signs don't mean anything. So the Alpha and the Omega. Then I go back to this timeline here, right here, everybody. So this is that timeline we're talking about here.
And that Alpha and Omega come from looking at the map that we are behind and promoting as being the true correct map of this world. And you will not find anybody else promoting a working flat earth map and model. Is there anybody that you know of that's promoting a working flat earth map and model?
No. And so not only was it working, but we also expressed how the stars, the heavenly luminaries, run their course, how the sun and the moon traverse their paths, how the day is broken up into 24 hours, or depending on which scripture or which measurement system we use. We've even gone back to the Enochian, back to the times of Enoch, which were pre-Noah. It's all in these videos. So that was the 7th, was the triumphal entry. Mm-hmm. So the star Jupiter, which is the holy scepter, which is the seat of Yahweh. This is his star. It's the brightest.
For my family, my parents, my brother, these people, could you just give a little bit of detail as to what Jupiter and the importance in celestial events? Help them understand this real quickly. This is Cliff Notes.
So the quick Cliff Notes would be that there are 12 constellations, like the 12 tribes of Israel, and they are marked through a system of time that is kept by Jupiter. So where Jupiter is opposing Regulus, which is another star in the sky that you can easily find with the naked eye. These are all naked eye. You don't need any P900s. You don't need any telescopes. You can literally look at the sky and see these luminaries. So this moment here was the triumphal entry, Hosanna, which is actually Hawashai, or Oshea, which was, again, back to the Sanskrit, to the first language. Joshua was the one who delivered God's people into the promised land of milk and honey. Joshua was Oshea, or Hawashai is the original Sanskrit word, Hawashai. And basically it means salvation, deliverance. So it means those two things. So when you go back, like Hawa meant exists, Moses added he, so Yah, Hawa, and Hawa, Shai. Yah, Hawa, Shai meant he exists and is salvation. All in, and the beautiful thing of it is it's simple.
It's a perfect name. I mean, what else?
You don't have to say Yeshua Hamashayaka. You don't have to say
Yeshua, Yahweh, Yahushua,
Jehovah, Lord. It's just Yahushai.
It's not Yoshi.
It's not Yoshi. You know, it's perfect. Everything that the Creator shares is beyond perfect, and that's why we're beyond flat Earth, because we've been praying and seeking for His truth. And that's what we want everyone out there to do, regardless of what you're told. So I'll keep going here. We also covered the Moab quite extensively. That's one of my favorite hangouts with you, Jason. By far.
It was fun.
That video there destroyed. So like your chemtrails, our demonic video destroyed chemtrails. This Moab video destroyed all the necessary thoughts that I had about bombs, flying bombs. It destroys all of war. Yeah. You know, they got the Korean people shooting all of their weaponry. No, yeah, North Korean. You know, before the supposed war, they spend all their ammunition. It's like that was a wonderful, that was a good video.
Well, it's part of learning to spot CGI too, right?
Yeah.
We came across this in the popular flat Earth community. They promote this CGI of a circling sun, you know, in order to make their model work. We spot that CGI right away, and then with those fine-tuned eyes, look at the warp you know, the war stuff that we're seeing, that were shown through the media, and the CGI. It's CGI. It's fake.
So, and now I want to bring you to this next marker, which would be this time period here, which is the 12th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. Well, if you could explain a little bit how one day works. So like from how a day is delineated to God.
Well, the calendar that we're seeing here works from sunset to sunset each day.
That is one day. Sunset would be the morning.
Yep.
And the next sunset would be the next day's morning. So
the day goes from sunset to sunset. Right? Were you talking about the 1,000? Okay.
Nope, that's exactly what I wanted you to point out.
Okay.
The day starts
sunset to sunset.
Thank you. That is perfect. So depending where you are on the earth at any time, and these calendars are different in the way that we keep track. So the best way is with the moon, but this is the Cliff Notes. So here we have the 12th, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go back to, so the 12th, no, not this one.
Right.
Oh, yeah, you got it covered?
Oh no, this is the wrong one. I'm sorry.
Well,
Yours.
It's almost, yeah, they're almost the same. Our three
very
channels.
Similar.
Yeah, and the vlogs. Well, you've done a great job on the vlog. So here it is, the 12th. So then when we go to, yeah, we were just pumping them out. So right here on the 12th, it's got the same title, but when I click on this one was published April 12th at 10:46 p.m. And this was, it's muted, right? Yeah. So again, we continued, we then added upon the 8th. So
the title is different. The new working flat Earth circuit of the Earth map. So in this one, it shows the alpha, the omega, the circuit, like I was talking about earlier, how it's not circle of the Earth, it's circuit of the Earth. That's a scripture study you should do.
That's the alpha and the omega with the given magnetic lines right there. You want to just go into that for a sec?
Okay. This is the C.S. Pierce, 1894 oblique Mercator. And this is the map of our world. We've got a better looking one of this now that's more accurate. But that is how the truth works, where it's we put out what we had and then it keeps getting refined better and better. But this blue path right here is the equator in this map. This is a stereographical map. If you watch the video, you'll see that when you wrap this image onto a sphere in a 3D modeling program, this will wrap on and look like the globe that we are familiar with. These curved lines, like that blue equator line, turns into a regular equator, like the stripe on a croquet ball. Okay, so that's very telling right there. These are the lines of longitude here that are marked out in the pink and the green and the red here. And you can see that in the pink, you've got your alpha. This is the alpha sign. And in the blue, you've got the omega. And that's interesting that we have those characters and we find them in the map of this world. So, I mean, if you're creating characters for your language, where are you going to draw the symbolism from? How about the map of this world? That's what we found.
So yeah, that's the time and date line and the equator. So if you were teaching someone if you're teaching them the alphabet, Yahushai was one when he manifested the Father, the Heavenly Father, he knew all of this. And he would, if you go back to the infancy gospel, the Arabic infancy gospel of Yahushai, he corrects he corrects the minister or the teacher, the rabbi, and he tells him this, right? He shows him from the beginning to the end. And he doesn't say that I am the beginning and the end in that moment there, but he does in the New Testament. And so when you're going back through our videos, I just want you to remember that everything we've done has had 2 or 3 or multiple witnesses, like the word Yahweh. I believe it's written that it was 7,000 times. So the original script, the original writing was one congruent sentence with no vowels or periods or any type of.
It wasn't broken into the individual verses like we have now.
So basically, as you read it, you would remember that time period and you'd instantly know where to go in the book. You wouldn't have a need for chapters or books. It was one book. And I believe Enoch and Adam and Eve, all of the writings basically were that way. So it's 7,000 times it shows up in that. You can do a code searcher on the original language. 7,000 times it says Yahweh, so YHWH.
Mm-hmm.
We know in Sanskrit you just added ah. It was the A.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't need to put the A because they knew it was the ah.
Always.
They didn't need to.
Sometimes I.
And sometimes I. That's it. That's the vowels. It's a beautiful language. I go into more detail on that on my page. But then we can continue here because this is just incredible. So we showed you the triumphal entry, the Alpha and Omega in the sky. These are things happening above us as we're doing these things on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So we keep moving over. And we had, so they've started erecting the arches all over the world, all over the plane. And then we get into Passover and the second Passover. So we have, this would be May 7th. So we go back. Was it this one? Back one. So we've covered all of these timelines, like unbelievable accuracy. I got to go back one. And it's a testament to the glory of the Creator. Right? Do you have anything to add?
Well, it's been interesting because a lot of this has happened in a way where we're just going about doing our stuff. We put out the video. It has a message in it that we were working on beforehand. You know, a little bit. We put out the video, and then we look at the timeline as to how this happened, and it hits and it lines up over and over and over again. So we are suggesting to all of you right now that the truth about this world, about this reality, is being expressed through us.
We are witnessing to it.
Yeah. And in this, we're trying to just show confirmation of how it's hitting with scripture, because we recognize the scriptures to be true. Once you know it's a simulation, you'll understand how this works better, because the creator of this world is the God of the Bible, and he laid down this script, this narrative for us, and we've all been reading it and manifesting from it. And it has to be true. We are rendering from this script. What we are doing is we're taking positions within this storyline based on how we receive the truth.
So here's Ascension Day. I believe that would have been the 30th. So I think that was when we started. That was, we used
May 25th.
Was it May 25th?
I thought that's when it.
Oh, well, here's the oh, yes, right here, everybody, 24th, 25th. See it?
Yep. Yeah, in the green timeline there. Yep.
Yeah, it's right up through there. So we were still looking at the sky again, and we had, this is where we put out.
We might be back.
Where's the truth about everything? It was is that in your channels?
Yeah.
So this is where this video was hit on that date as well. This is Jason started a fabulous channel. You made this yourself. It's amazing. The graphics, the truths that are in this. This is a must see channel. The truth about everything. Again, with your resilient.
But it really hasn't had the chance to get off the ground. If what we are talking about comes true, this is going to look like an unfinished project. All right. The idea was that Ronnie and I double check each other, and then we want your input, and that with all of us in agreement, it would be a place that we would publish this content. So that was the plan with the channel, but it may not get to that point, and maybe it will. But what I really want to get to is this whole Revelation 12 prophecy that came up in our investigations. And we've come to realize that it is taking place September 23rd. Read Revelation 12, what you read in there about the virgin giving birth, the crown, that all takes place September 23rd. So we've been studying that event, and then there's researchers out there that studies show that there is a rapture or translation, a being caught up event that takes place before that sign. Okay, that is what this message is. We're trying to get this out there to you right now. These key dates, we are down to the point right now where we're looking at August 8th as being a possible thing that lines up with your birthday, and then there's a lot of ways that things would be fulfilled.
Well, yeah, there's if you bring up Steve Fletcher's channel.
Mm-hmm.
So we started working on the 16th of November, which is again the birth of the sign. Well, that was quick. The sign of okay, November 16th is when Jupiter, go back to this, when Jupiter here went into Virgo in its retrograde path through the sky. November 16th, that's when we met.
That's when we met.
That's when we started talking.
And then the research that Brother Steve Fletcher has shown, he has pinpointed the conception date for the Revelation 12 sign being November 16th as well.
The conception date is, and the birth date is, I guess, August 9th or August 8th, again, right there, which also, so the true Pentecost, Moses went up the mountain and came down, and they were worshiping false idols. They were praying to golden cows. You know, that holy cow, you know, that saying is birthed right there. Mm-hmm. So he broke the commandments, Moses, and he went back up the mountain for 40 more days. And that day is August 8th. So
that's August 8th.
That's August 8th as well, which is the day that the Holy Spirit was given unto the people and the Holy Commandments. Moses came back down with the instructions on how to live.
And what's the date today?
Today's the 6th?
Yeah.
August 6th. So we're 2 days. We're 2 days out of that day, and there is a partial eclipse. It's happening at my actual time of birth.
But it's not visible in North and South America. It's visible on the other.
It's on the, the other
Europe,
half of the map.
Yeah, that side.
That side. So you remember the square oblate map has 4 quarters. And it's broken, and it's scriptural. The corners of the earth. There's 4 quarters. The Chaldeans and the Hebrews knew exactly how to keep time and how the earth was working, and how the stars went around. So I'm trying to get the camera here. The stars go like this around us. We're caped in them, not like this. The stars go around us, and there is a delineation of time. So
and we're on a flat earth,
and it's flat like the bottom of this camera. So also in all of 3D modeling and virtual reality programs, you use a flat plane. All of the astronomical and flight data for all of the supposed, I guess we're going to call them prop military planes. They're basically gliders. They all work off of flat data. So the ground has to be flat. The gyroscope that measures your horizon line, your horizontal line of eyesight, the horizon.
You know, they spin up the gyroscope. It remains flat.
Flat.
It doesn't process. The term is process. If you were to fly around the world, you would expect a gyroscope to process. That it doesn't happen.
No, it stays flat as long as the power supply is even.
So August 8th, 9th, big watch day. This lines up with your birthday and all these other things. The date that we are really drawing people's attention to is August 21st. It's the great eclipse that's going to go across the United States. That's 7 years later. There's going to be another eclipse that cuts it in the other direction. That fits with the 7-year Great Tribulation right on. Okay, do you see the connection there? So August 21st, we've learned through our studies that we are expected to, when the moon and sun line up, we are going to be there. All right, we will be there to watch this event. We will be filming it. We're expecting something spectacular because we know we're in a simulation, and we've been told that when that alignment happens, the stars come back out. Mm-hmm. We're going to be able to see the stars. There's a big temperature drop.
We'll be able to see the sign of the Son of the Man with the lion leading Virgo up above the horizon here.
Now, something else that people have testified about is that everything freezes. Everything pauses, like birds in the air, animals eating, all these things freeze. Matrix, glitch style. But the humans, I guess, aren't frozen, but the airlines will not be landing or taking off during this event because things freeze, they glitch. The shadows from eclipse shadows. You have to do a Google search for eclipse shadows and look at the pictures. This is a simulation realization moment. All this happening August 21st, which is just a 9-month and 5-day pregnancy from the conception date of November 16th. This all lines up. We're going to be there, and our expectation is this catching up translation event. We are leaving this behind now for the people that are not there, that are not ready, because 7 years later, it's going to be happening again. I would expect that if we get caught up and then people were like, whoa, these guys were caught up, look at this.
Yeah, I was going to say we can maybe end with part of this video.
Let's do that.
But
we are caught up, and our channels are still here for you to watch. I want you to know 7 years later, you should be there for the next eclipse, okay?
And it passes through, what is it, Austin and Toronto. So family and friends up north of the border. In 7 years, you're going to get your eclipse right across Toronto, which is coincidentally where I traveled from to here.
Yeah, and Austin as well. So I do not wish a great tribulation upon anyone, but we do know from the scriptures that there will be one. If you believe in the scriptures, then you know that there is going to be one. My big advice is do not take the mark of the beast. My friends, my family.
Do not take the chip. Do not let them.
You know that to be able to buy and sell, you're going to have some sort of a mark. We know this is going to happen from the scriptures. So you're going to have to reject it. That means you're not going to be able to buy and sell. You will be forced to be putting yourself, like your life, what you think is your life, on the line for the truth. That that right there can be made easier by knowing that you're in a simulation. And you can do that by knowing that the earth is flat and then looking up, watching our content. Once you know that you're in a simulation, it should be a little bit easier to let go of the idea of, you know, I don't want to sacrifice this body if I think that this is all that there is. But the scriptures, Yahushua told us over and over and over not to put this body ahead of anything, and that if we're willing to sacrifice it, that our reward will be eternal
in heaven.
life.
Yeah, don't put any of your heart into things that rust or moths creep in and destroy. So a human body is something that is destroyed. This reality is something that breaks down. So our spirit, the light, the place that we came from, where it manifested on its own accord, and that's how you know who we are, is because we are able to move and repose. We can produce as much truth as we can find, and we will be corrected, and we will be thankful.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're not
Caught up or translated,
harpazoed, raptured,
Yeah.
we are going to be here, louder,
doing this.
louder, more bells. But what we do truly know is for us to go, I want as many people saved as possible. I'm a forgiving, gullible, naive person. So if me going and you going saves one more person,
Mhm.
I'm all for it.
Well, plus I want out of here, right?
But
I hate this satanic world. Like, it's not fair. I know it's a simulation. I want a fair world. That is what is promised to us by the Creator.
it's a shame, because just in passing in the last year, coming to life, understanding the reality that I'm in with you, you have laid out simpler, more efficient, more just ways to live that the entire simulation would thrive under. Everything from the sewers to how we treat each other. Me and you have basically discussed and come to agreement on things that we could instantly bring into reality. And I want to be a part of that at any cost. And I love everyone out there, including Jason.
Yeah. So this is my message to you, my family, that fleshly family, and my spiritual family. The work has been laid down. I don't know that there's too much more that's going to be coming as far as new information is concerned. I want you to look at this. If you have a love for the truth, a desire for it, I would expect you to study this information the way Ronnie and I have always studied information, where we can't get enough of it. Like,
We knock.
there is no time for television or any of that kind of stuff when you're studying and digging into the truth. I expect that if you find something in your studies of our message that you can show us evidence where we're wrong, I would expect you to show it to us, that we could be corrected and we could all be standing on a higher truth. But it doesn't happen unless if you actually do the research to double check what we said and what we've said.
Mm-hmm.
So on that, if you could leave us out with some simulation realization moments. August 21st, people, be there.
And be caught up, be magnetized to the truth, to the spirit. And I want to bow my head, and I just beg Yahweh in Yahushua's name that he protects all the people that hear this message, opens their eyes, and allows our material to be found justly. And that the enemy be blinded, and every chance they try to take down the truths that we have shared, that they be obliterated in the name of Yahushua.
Amen.
So should I put that on?
Sure.
Thanks, everyone. It was I enjoyed this hangout immensely. Thank
Me
you,
too.
Jason.
Thank you.
Yeah. So then you don't have to play it all.
Yeah, you shut it off whenever you want.
Maybe we'll turn the mic off.
I got it.
Who's going to do the earphones?
Go ahead and mute there.
After this, you will rise again from the dead, rising from the gods of death, and entering into your true stature. You are to wear no disguise in any of the heavens, but in the fullness of your splendor will you rise up and sit to my right. And I could see the Lord departing from the seventh heaven. And he said, Isaiah, look and see, that you may understand the disguising and descent of the Lord. And then I looked, and when the angels of the sixth heaven saw him, they exalted and venerated him, for he had not been changed into the form of the angels there. And as they were praising him, I sang praises to him right along with them. And when I saw him descend into the fifth heaven, he transformed himself to resemble the angels there. He then went down into the fourth heaven and changed his appearance into that of the angels who were there. And when they saw him, they neither exalted nor venerated him, for his form was just like theirs. Again, I saw him descend into the third heaven, that he changed himself into the form of the angels there. Now the gatekeepers of that realm demanded the password, so to keep from being known, the Lord spoke it to them. Again, I saw him descend into the second heaven, where the gatekeepers likewise demanded the password, and the Lord provided it. And when I saw him descend into the first heaven, he spoke the password to the gatekeepers there. Then he disguised himself to appear as the angels to the left of that throne. And once again he descended into the sky, where the prince of this world resides, and spoke the password to those on the left-hand side. And because his form was just like theirs, they did not exalt or venerate him there. Quite to the contrary, they were jealously contending with one another, for there is an evil power and a competition over trivial matters in that place. Even though these mysteries were shouted out loud, God brought them about in complete silence. So how was all this shown to the world? Up in the heavens, a star far more luminous than any other blazed forth. No words could express its brilliance. Its incomparability left men utterly perplexed. The sun, moon, and stars surrounded it in harmony, but this star outshone them all. Then extreme bewilderment ensued. Where could this star, which was so different from its companions, have come from? Everywhere magic disappeared before it. All the spells of sorcery were broken, and superstition was removed. The ancient kingdom of darkness was about to be undone, for God, by coming down in human form, was ushering in a new order of eternal life. Now what God had devised was being brought to pass, and everything from that day forth was thrown into disarray on account of this design to destroy death. As I was walking along, Joseph recalled, I came to a stop and then looked up. There I saw the clouds astonished, and gazing upward further still, I saw birds motionless against the unmoving sky. Then I looked around me and saw work hands who were sitting at a table. A bowl had been placed before them, and their hands were in it, but they were not moving them to feed themselves. And those in the process of eating were no longer chewing. Those who were lifting their food were putting none of it down, while those whose food was near to their lips were putting none of it into their mouths. Everyone was looking up. And behold, sheep that were being driven along stood still and did not advance, while the hand of the shepherd whose rod was set to strike them remained frozen in its place. Then I glanced over to see what the river looked like. I could see a number of young goats, some with their muzzles over and others with theirs in the water, but none of them were drinking. And just as suddenly, everything returned to normal. By then the sun was going down. At that moment, the midwife related, everything came to a complete stop. There was an utter and fearful silence. Even the wind stopped blowing. The leaves did not rustle on the trees, nor did the waters babble, for the rivers all stopped flowing, and the oceans ceased their undulations. all that the waters bring forth grew still. There was no human voice to be heard, and the silence was complete. All of them were taken with fear. All of them were taken with fear, and everyone stopped talking. We were all anticipating the Most High God and the end of the world. When the moment was ripe, God showed his power visibly. Fixated on heaven, the virgin stood and became as white as snow, for the fulfillment of all good things was near. My soul indeed is magnified, the midwife exclaimed, and these eyes of mine have seen great things, for this very day has brought about the deliverance of Israel. And immediately the cloud withdrew from the cave and was replaced by a light so bright that our eyes could not endure the sight. The light brought forth even as the dew from heaven condenses upon the earth. And even as it blazed, she bore a son by virgin birth. And as he was coming forth, the luminous beams intensified to a level far brighter than the sun, filling the entire cave with their brilliance. And with it came the most fragrant odor imaginable, more redolent than any aromatic ointment. Now, even though among mankind this is thought to be an incredible miracle, for God the Father and God the Son, nothing at all is considered miraculous. The merry earth shuddered as the child came forth. The heavenly throne burst out in laughter as creation celebrated in joy.
We are the voice crying out from the wilderness. We came from the light, the place where the light came into being on its own accord and established itself and became manifest through their image.
Did you know that Earth was flat and that you live in a simulation? Will you look up on August 21st during the Great American Solar Eclipse? I will.
Did you know that the world was flat? Did you know the Creator reached out to you? Did you know all you have to do is reach back? Did you know?
And a dazzlingly brilliant star was worshipped among the Magi. The angels encompassed him at his coming, and the voices of many invisible beings joined together in chorus and shouted, Amen.
Can you hear me out there? Did you know? Yahushai, he knows.
The high priest was the one who offered up sacrifice for our sins. And that is why Yahushai offered up his life to deliver us from our sins.
None of us can give up on a two-state solution. We continue to believe that that solution is the only viable path to provide peace and security for the state of Israel and freedom and dignity for the Palestinian people.
1 Thessalonians 5. Now concerning the times and the seasons, brothers, you have no need to have anything written to you, for you yourselves are fully aware that the day of the Lord will come like a thief in the night. While people are saying, there is peace and security, then sudden destruction will come upon them, as labor pains come upon a pregnant woman, and they will not escape. But you are not in darkness, brothers, for that day to surprise you like a thief. For you are all children of light, children of the day. We are not of the night or of the darkness. So then let us not sleep as others do, but let us keep awake and be sober. For those who sleep, sleep at night, and those who get drunk are drunk at night. But since we belong to the day, let us be sober, having put on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet the hope of salvation. For God has not destined us for wrath, but to obtain salvation through our Lord Jesus Christ, who died for us so that whether we are awake or asleep, we might live with him.
To provide peace and security for the state of Israel.
And Yahushua said, the heavens and the earth will be rolled up in your presence, and one who lives from the living one will not see death. We are the voice crying out from the wilderness. We came from the light, the place where the light came into being on its own accord and established itself and became manifest through their image. And Yahushua said, if they say to you, where did you come from? Say to them, we are the voice crying out from the wilderness. We came from the light, the place where the light came into being on its own accord and established itself and became manifest through their image.
Did you know the earth was flat and that you live in a simulation? Will you look up on August 21st during the Great American Solar Eclipse? I will.
And Yahushua said, if they say to you, where did you come from? Say to them, we came from the light, the place where the light came into being on its own accord and established itself and became manifest through their image. We are the elect of the living Father. And Yahushua said, it is I who am the light which is above them all. It is I who am the all. From did the all come forth, and unto me did the all extend. Split a piece of wood, and I am there. Lift up the stone, and you will find me there.
The light brought forth even as the dew from heaven condenses upon the earth. And even as it blazed, she bore a son by virgin birth. And as he was coming forth, the luminous beams intensified to a level far brighter than the sun, filling the entire cave with their brilliance. And with it came the most fragrant odor imaginable, more redolent than any aromatic ointment. Now even though among mankind this is thought to be an incredible miracle, for God the Father and God the Son, nothing at all is considered miraculous. The merry earth shuddered as the child came forth. The heavenly throne burst out in laughter as creation celebrated in joy. And a dazzlingly brilliant star was worshipped among the Magi. The angels encompassed him at his coming, and the voices of many invisible beings joined together in chorus and shouted, Amen.